So instead of assessing the product, I'm now assessing the learning. So, and I've used the kids to really create that because I haven't had the tools to really assess what does proficient look like when you're talking about skills. I can tell you what a proficient PowerPoint might look like, but that's not what I'm assessing. I'm assessing that learning that's going on.
The sharing is really big with them. Plus, the ownership comes from them actually learning all that they can about it.
But what the beauty of this is teaching kids a process that they can replicate in so many different contexts. And they use it over and over again. And once they've internalized that process, the sky's the limit. And that's how we can close that achievement gap. We get the kids motivated. We get them excited about learning.
To me, 21st century learning is learning that was learning and teaching together that prepares students for a changing world.
I think that the technology is a part of it, but it's the critical thinking skills, it's the problem-solving skills, and it's the civic responsibility that has to underlie everything.
Kids, I have never had better feedback in my life. The kids absolutely adore this new perspective on learning, and that's what they want. And they're absolutely amazed when they find an adult that says, yeah, I understand. I get it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. They go, what, are you kidding me?
A classroom that's very interactive. There's a teacher interaction, there's a peer interaction, there's even a self interaction. So kids actually are looking at their own learning at the same time.
I see myself as more of a facilitator and a coach, a mentor, those kind of things, and I'm here for them in those different areas. But by doing that though, I have to make sure I understand where they are and where I need to take them.
And so if I'm giving advice, I tell them that I would tell a teacher, here's your guidelines, here's what you want to do, here's the objective. Let the kids know what the objective is and move, experiment with it. You know, some things may not work right away. You may have to adapt things, but be willing to do that, be willing to adapt and move to something different.
So how can I include inquiry, 21st century learning skills as a part of my instruction? And I'm finding that in itself incredibly powerful because the buy-in to get teachers to embrace that, they think of it as one more thing. It really isn't. It's just a change in what you do, an enhancement in what you do, and how you do it. So what did we learn?
I learned that all the planets except Earth were Greek gods.
Most countries only use one kind of rocket, but the USA uses lots of different rockets.
Well, right from the beginning, I want it to be a topic that was their choosing. So the content was not relevant to me. The whole purpose of the project was give them something to inquire about, something to work together on and develop those learning skills that are essential for learners. So right from the get-go, I let them choose their topics. They brainstormed a bunch of topics. They came together and chose one that they were going to do collaboratively. And then after every session, I would ask them to journal about it. What was your experience like? How do you feel? How is your role in the group? How are you feeling about that? What can you do to change your role in the group? Right from the beginning, we talked about what a proficient piece would look like, and those are the terms we use at our school: is proficient, advanced. Not the product, but the learning. So I really tried to take the emphasis off the ending product because regardless of what that turned out to be, it was the learning that I wanted to make sure was happening, and that was what was being assessed.
And when we were deciding our topics, it was hard because some people had ideas that people didn't want to do, but they wanted to do.
Because when I was researching about the rockets, it told me different things what rockets are used for.
I learned that sometimes when you're a learner, you have to write down what you know so you remember it.
I think big surprise was how little we actually recognize that we use these learning skills. We're so used to being taught, and the kids would probably even contest to that. We're so used to being taught information that that's what we focus on. We focus on the product, we focus on the education. When we talk about learning skills, they didn't realize that they were actually growing as collaborators. They didn't recognize that they were actually problem solving until after we would reflect and talk that was actually solving a problem.
Let's make it our turn.
This video presents examples of promising classroom practices in 21st century learning. We at the Council on 21st Century Learning have been engaged in lively conversations with educators across Colorado and beyond about transforming K-12 education. This video extends that conversation, moving from abstract ideas to concrete examples. It's easy to talk about the need for change, but far more difficult to actually create the change from schooling to learning. We see that change occurring, and we can learn from those who are leading the way. These examples come from the Colorado school districts of Aurora, Colorado Springs, and Denver. We refer to the practices as promising because they demonstrate progress toward 21st century learning. Like the practitioners themselves, we think they could be better still. We hope that you will find them useful as you consider your own efforts.